and the lakes to the human's culture. So I think there must be very important rivers in your countries. So could you please share the important rivers in your country in the chat box?
Sure.
Yeah, share. So you can type.
So I see. Okay.
Yeah, you can type the rivers again in the chat box in your country. Okay. Pama River.
It's Meghna.
Meghna River.
Jamuna.
Jamuna River. Kondawani. So in Zambia, it's Zambezi. Okay, Zambezi River. Surma River. Okay. So Kondawani, can you hear me?
Yes, I can get you.
Okay, Kondawani, can you talk about something about that river you shared?
Oh, Zambezi River.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fourth largest river in Africa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the fourth largest river in Africa. Oh.
Yes.
So why is it so important to your country?
Well, we use it to hydrate electricity.
Oh, for electricity. Oh, that must be very important.
Yes, yes.
So are there any important cities along the river valley? So, for example, the important cities, the capital, is the capital along the river valley of the river?
No, but it flows. It also flows in the capital city.
It also. Okay, so yes. Actually the capital city is along the river, right?
The river starts in which province is it? Southern province.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and that's where the Victoria Falls is as well.
Okay, I see. So sorry, what's the name of the river again?
The Zambezi River.
Zambezi River. Is there any like connection between the Zambia, the name of a country, and the river? Because it sounds similar.
Yes, there's a connection.
So because the river of the name and the name of the river and the name of your country actually is similar, right? Zambia,
yes, it was
Zambeza. Okay, I see.
It was named by the first Republican president.
So actually okay, now we get it. So it's very important river. Even your country's name is after the name of the river, right?
Yes.
Good, thank you, Kondawani. And so Grace Kapuas River?
Kapuas River, yeah.
Can you tell us something about this river?
Maybe it is the longest river in Indonesia, and it's located in Borneo Island, Kalimantan Island, Indonesia. I think that is from what I know.
So are there any important cities along the river valley?
Maybe Kalimantan.
Kalimantan.
Because it is located in Kalimantan Island.
Okay, I see. So this river is very important. Like, so there are like farming. Is the farming along this valley famous in your country?
Sorry, Lasha?
I mean, is the farming along this river valley famous in your country? Yeah. Okay, I see. Very good. Thank you. So next, I see Atri River. Faridal.
Yes.
What's this? Okay, can you tell me something about this river?
Oh,
this is beautiful river. Farmers makes their farming this river.
Okay, sorry, maybe something is wrong with the internet is not that good, so I didn't hear it clearly. Let me. Actually, there are so many important rivers in Bangladesh.
Ma'am,
Yes,
Bangladesh is
Lucky.
called a river country.
Riverine country.
Yes,
There are more than
Sorry.
It's a
360
lot
rivers
of
in
rivers
Bangladesh.
in Bangladesh.
yeah,
Okay.
Bangladesh is queen of river.
Okay, sorry. When when all the people are speaking, I cannot hear you clearly. Okay, let me ask Rashid. Okay, Rashid. So you
Yes,
shared
Laushi.
so many rivers. Share so many rivers, right? Which one is the most important? Do you think?
I think there are five big rivers in Bangladesh:
Five. Uh-huh.
Padma, Meghna, Jamuna,
Uh-huh.
Brahmaputra, and Karnafuli.
Uh-huh.
And all these are very important. Padma, Meghna, Jamuna, people's growing their farm agriculture, and Karnafuli uses for providing electricity.
Mm. So
And so many
farming
rivers.
and
Yes,
farming and electricity. Okay, very good.
electricity.
So rivers not only provides the food, but also provides us electricity so that we can live in a modern world. Very good, thank you. So many rivers in Bangladesh, and let
Yeah.
me have a look. So Alex, how about in Ukraine, Alex?
It's called Dnieper.
Uh,
This Ukraine is like this,
uh-huh.
and it goes like this through
Oh,
Ukraine.
wow, through the middle of the country.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, is the capital along this located along the valley?
I don't know if it goes through, but I know it's somewhere near the capital. Maybe
Okay.
if it goes through, I'm not sure.
Okay. Maybe it's not go through, but it's near. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Thank you. And what about Ghana? Okay, Sakodi, what about Ghana? Sakodi, are you still here?
I'm here, Laushi.
Okay. So there is only one student from Ghana, one student from Zambia, one student from Ukraine, and one student from Pakistan and Indonesia. So it's very difficult for me to forget you. Okay.
Okay, Laushi.
So
Okay, Laushi.
so how about in your country, Ghana? Okay, is there any other? Is there any like important rivers in your country?
Yeah, there are important rivers in our country, which we have the Volta.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of them, but I can specify on the Volta River.
Uh-huh. So why is so
And
important to the country?
the Volta River, in other sense, you can also call it the Akosombo Dam.
Uh-huh.
And we use it for electricity purpose to generate electricity. And with that lake, it's also navigable and it's cheap, linking the savannah part of the river.
Okay.
So that's how it is, and it's the largest and the biggest in Ghana.
Okay, it's largest and the biggest in Ghana. And also,
Yes.
it also provides the electricity to the country. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
good. Thank you. Okay, how about in Pakistan, Zakira?
Teacher,
Uh-huh.
we have contiguous irrigation system in the world. That is known
Really?
as Indus Basin irrigation system,
Uh-huh.
and that is Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Kabul. There are rivers, and they are all very important for us.
Oh, okay. So, sorry, I didn't get the name of the river. Okay, what's the name of the river?
Uh, uh, I just said Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Kabul, and their catchments. They are rivers.
Is the name of the river? Oh, so
Yes.
long. It's very.
No. It's uh they are there are six
Oh, okay, I
six
see. I
rivers.
see. Okay,
Yes.
there are 6
Yes.
rivers. Okay,
Yes.
it's like a network of the rivers, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I see. I see. Okay, thank you. So do you use the rivers to like produce electricity?
Yes.
Okay,
We use this for agriculture also.
agriculture also and electricity. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that's the importance of the rivers. And then after learning about the geographic features and the important rivers in China, we are going to the next part, which is agriculture. So agriculture, okay, yeah. So as we mentioned before, that there are different the climate. Okay, China is very big, and the landforms are in different places are different, and sorry, and the climate is different too. So that's why there are different types of architecture in China. So now I'm going to show you another short video about China's architecture. And in this video, it will talk about 4 types of traditional architectures in China. But not only these 4, okay, but we just picked these 4 types of traditional architectures. And pay attention to these 4, the name of the architectures and the location of the architectures. Okay. I'm going to send you the picture to the WeChat group. Hold on.
Maybe these are traditional architecture in China, ma'am.
Yeah, they are. So you need to pay attention to the names. Okay.
Okay.
You need to pay attention to the names. Also, what's the name for each architecture and where they are located in China. So because in different places, there are different types of architectures in China. Okay. So here I put the Chinese pinyin. Okay, Chinese pinyin for the architectures, and in the video, you also hear the pinyin, the name, the name in Chinese. Okay, so Shiku. I think you finished the first week of Chinese class, right? I think you know how to
Yes,
read this.
last.
Okay, let's have let me let's test your pronunciation. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's horrible.
The first
Shikumen.
Shikumen. Yeah.
Shigumen.
Okay, Shikumen. Okay. How about
Shikumen.
the
She her yuan.
very good.
She
Okay.
Hey one. She Hey one.
Jiao Lou
Uh-huh.
Jiao Jiao Lo.
Yao Tong.
Yao Dong. Yao Dong.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Okay. So this is you tried very hard in the Chinese class. Very
Shikumen.
good. Okay, 石库门. First one is 石库门. Second one is 四合院. 四合院. And then the third one is 吊脚楼. Last one is 窑洞. Okay. Okay. So now please mute yourself. I'm going to play the video and pay attention to the names of the architectures and the places. Okay. Okay. Mute yourself, please. I'm going to help you to mute. Okay, go.
China's natural environment varies hugely across the country. So does the architecture style. In southern part, people started from nest dwelling, and northern China has the tradition of cave dwelling. In the humid and rainy southern land, People built shelters in the tree to avoid flooding, wild animals, insects, and bugs. The arid climate in the north makes it easy to excavate earth shelters in the fine loess soil. Yaodong, the house cave, spread out on the lowest plateau of Shanxi, Henan, and Shanxi. An estimated 40 million people still lived in these house caves until 1920s. Loess soil provides good heat preservation and solid protection in structure. Thus, the early cave dwellings were developed into a more formal house cave by people over the years to survive on the ravaged Loess plateau. One room of a house cave is usually about 4 meters in length, 5 meters in height, and 3 meters in width, with an arched top. The arch structure design is key to the house cave for its durability, as the shape can resist compressive axial force effectively to prevent stress fractures, which will result in collapsing of the cave. A heat brick bed is the center of each house cave room, interconnected with the cooking hearth via internal flue system to heat the room, which is life-saving in the long bitterness of cold winter. 吊脚楼, otherwise known as stilt house, piling house, are elevated houses built on stilts or pilings over the surface of the rugged slope or a body of water. Southeast mountainous regions of China such as Hunan, Guizhou, Sichuan provinces see a wide spread of 吊脚楼. The design of stilt houses is primarily influenced by the terrain topography to provide protection against flooding caused by widespread narrow waterways and steep slopes. They also keep out vermin as this area is hot and humid most of the time. The shady space under the house can be used for farming land or storage, while residence is on the top. 四合院, a typical Beijing architecture, courtyard surrounded by buildings on all 4 sides. The design is originally for the protection from gusting winds in northern winter, but over the years, strict protocols were developed by the rigid political hierarchies, as Beijing is home to Chinese emperors. The size of the house, the number of rooms it consists, the style of the porch, the building material of the door, even the roof tiles. You don't want to mess up any of that. The style of the architecture grows on the people lived in it. The distinction between insiders and outsiders, priorities in seniorities and order, is the basic principle for Chinese etiquette. Although the day of the emperor's ruling is long gone, but these principles are still in our nature. Shanghai-style architecture. Shanghai architecture has merely a century-long history, yet it is a mixture of cultural elements from all over the world. Inclusiveness and innovation run in the gene of Shanghai architecture. Modern meets classic is the cocktail of Shanghai style. The Bund is a museum of Shanghai-style architecture, a collection of Renaissance style, neoclassicism, mix and match of Baroque and Islamic style, Art Deco, which favors geometric outlines and mechanic elements, can all be found here. Shigumen is a traditional Shanghainese architecture style combining Western and Chinese elements. It first appeared in the 1860s, named after the stone door frame. Like 四合院 in the north, it is also fit for a large household. However, Details such as roof windows were introduced later, which is often seen on top of rooms on north sides of the courtyard, to allow extra light and wind into the room. In a place like Shanghai, the dampness in the air can be only propelled by the warmth of sunlight.
Okay. Okay, that's the brief introduction about these 4 types of traditional architectures in China. Hello, everyone is here.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So the first one, with the thin legs, on the under the house. What's this?
角楼.
Oh, very good. 吊脚楼. Okay, this is 吊脚楼. Very good. Okay, 吊脚楼. Nice. Okay, and the second one, this one.
表洞.
腰洞.
Yes, very good. 窑洞. Okay, 窑洞. It's called 窑洞.
窑洞.
Very good. And the next one?
西号园.
Very good. With the walls on the 4 sides of the yard. 四合院. Okay. And the last one, of course, it's 石库门. Very good. Very good. 石库门. Okay, now please stop annotation. Okay, so 吊脚楼. So in which area in China is 吊脚楼? Did you get it? In the north or south or middle of China?
Middle.
Hunan.
Okay, so because when more than 1 people are speaking, I cannot hear you. Could you please type the answers in the chat box? So for 吊脚楼, so in which area is 吊脚楼? So south or north?
North.
Hunan, yes, Hunan province. There are 吊脚楼, and the southeast, yes. Shanxi, no, Shanxi is in the north of China, and it's very dry there. Okay, so most of you got the province Hunan. Very good. Okay, so in Hunan, okay, in many places in Hunan province, and 吊脚楼 are very common. And actually, 吊脚楼 are mainly located in south part of China and the southeast as southwest. Okay, southwest part of China, because there are a lot of mountains there, and it's very wet and very humid. So that's why they use this tilt to elevate the houses to prevent the damage of the flood and keep away the insects. How about Yaodong? So where is Yaodong? You can type the answers in the chat box. I can see it.
North.
How about Yaodong? You north or south? Very good. Yes, in north. Very good. How about 四合院? Okay, 四合院. In which city is it famous? In which city is it famous? Very good. Very good. Okay, Beijing. Very good. Okay, so 四合院 is a typical Beijing architecture. How about last one, 石库门?
Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai. Okay, in Shanghai. Okay, very good. So let's have a look at the information one by one. Okay, the first one, so we are going to talk about is yaodong. It's also called a house cave. Okay, why is it called house cave? Because actually it's a cave. It's a cave, and it's located on the lowest plateau. Sorry. Guys, when you are not answering a question, please mute yourself, okay? Especially when your background is very noisy, please mute yourself. Okay, so it's located on the lowest plateau. So we just learned about the feature about lowest plateau, and it's very dry, and it's full of loess, and that's why they use the mountains of the loess to create architecture. Okay, and there are two types. Okay, there are two main types of house cave. One is you can have a look at this, the first picture. Okay. It's called a hillside. Okay, hillside type. So they create the cave on the hillside. And another one, okay, another one is sunken courtyard. So it's below, okay, it's below the earth. So they have to go down. Okay, you can imagine, so these parts are the streets. And when they go home, they have to go downstairs to the courtyard. And these are the rooms. Okay, so they actually don't use any, they don't, I mean, they don't use too many bricks or too many woods. They just use the lowest to build the architecture. And the lowest and the earth can keep the house warm in cold seasons and cool in hot seasons. Okay, because in the north of China, it's very dry, especially on the lowest plateau. So it's very easy for them to live in this kind of cave. And right now, not too many people live in this kind of architecture now. So most of the people have moved out to live in the modern apartments, even in these areas. And this kind of architecture are used mostly are used as tourist attractions. So many people visit this kind of yaodong to experience the life before. Okay, so this is the first one, yaodong. Next one, okay, 吊脚楼. 吊脚楼. 吊脚楼 is in English we can call it stilt house or piling house. Okay, so why it's called a stilt house or piling house? Because you see, have a look at the bottom of the house. There are some stilts to elevate the house, okay, from the ground. So 吊脚楼 stilt houses are located in the south part of China or the southwest part of China. So as we mentioned before that in the south part of China or southwest part of China, it's very humid, and there is a lot of rain, and there are a lot of insects. Okay, in order to protect the house from the flood, from the insects, they use these stilts to elevate it, so that to keep it dry inside the house. And so we can have a look at there are the two pictures. Okay, some 吊脚楼, some stilt houses are built, okay, along the riverside, okay, and some are just on the hill. And and it's widespread throughout Yunnan, okay, Yunnan province, Guangxi province, Hunan, and Guizhou, Hubei, and Sichuan province. But okay, the appearance is different. Depends on the natural material, natural sources, resources, and depends on how people in different places like it. Okay, so these are the 吊脚楼, okay, in south part of China or southwest part of China. And the next one is 四合院. So we can pay attention to this character. I think some students learn the word, right? Let me add, 桑德, 桑德. Are you there? 桑德?
老师.
Hey, 桑德. So what's the meaning of the first character?
四.
What's the meaning?
四合院.
Four.
Four. 老师
Very
four.
good, very good. Okay, sound very good. 四, okay. 四 in Chinese, its meaning is four. Okay, four. So why it's called 四合院? Because you see, there are four walls. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, four walls surrounding the yard. Okay, 院, 院 means yard. So this is a yard. Okay, courtyard surrounded by buildings on four sides. That's how it gets its name. Okay, so in the video we learned that it's a typical architecture in Beijing. And at the beginning, when people build this kind of architecture, they use these four sides to keep the winds out. Okay, because in the wind, in the north, especially in the winter, and the wind is very strong and very cold. So in order to keep warm inside the yard, they build the four sides for walls on all the sides. And right now it's not only seen in Beijing, but it's also seen in Shanxi province. The 四合院 composition was the basic pattern used for residences, palaces, and temples, and family businesses. So in the video, we learned that from this kind of architecture, we know the very society principle in China. It's like the inners and outsiders, insiders and outsiders, and the priority and the seniority. This is very important to this kind of buildings, architectures, but this is also the principles of the society principles in Chinese society. So this is how the political has some impact on the architectures. So the last one, if you are in Shanghai, you can see this kind of architecture, Shigumen. So Alex, have you ever seen this kind of architecture in Shanghai?
Yeah.
Okay, where?
I don't know. Somewhere like near South Shaanxi, there are areas where like a lot of foreigners live. Living cost is very expensive there. There's a lot of architecture like this.
Okay, yes.
Somewhere there, I don't really remember.
Okay, very good. Okay, so actually right now, most of the Shigumen, most of the Shigumen are not for like residents to live in. Okay, so most of the Shigumen has been like developed as some commercial commercial places. Okay, for people to admire this kind of buildings. But before, many people lived in this kind of architecture. And this is a mixture of Chinese style and Western style. And it's not, this combined Western and Chinese elements that first appeared in the 1860s. And you know that because before, like more than 100 years ago, China, especially Shanghai. Okay, Shanghai. In Shanghai there are many like foreign companies in Shanghai, and they built many Western styles of architectures in Shanghai. So in the video, we learned that on the bund there are different types of foreign architectures, and this Shigumen is a combination of the different styles. And right now, the construction techniques of Shigumen architecture was recognized as the Chinese government on the National Intangible Cultural Heritage Register. So this right now, we don't build this kind of architecture anymore, but the techniques is very important for us to remember. Okay, that's all for the 4 types of traditional architectures in China. So not only these 4, okay, we just chose these 4 so that we can learn about, the connection between the geography and the architecture, and the political elements on the architecture, and the exchange between different cultures also has the impact on architecture. So from the Diaojiaolou and Yaodong, okay, from the Diaojiaolou and Yaodong, we can see the impact of the geography, the climate, okay, and the natural resources that has the impact on the architecture. And from the Siheyuan, okay, from the Siheyuan, we can know that the political elements has the impact on the architecture. And from this Shigumen, we can know that the exchange between different cultures, okay, the exchange between different cultures has the impact on architecture. So, and now let's talk about the architectures from your country, okay? So, could you please share like some very typical architecture? I mean, typical or traditional architecture in your country, and is there any impact from the geography on this kind of architecture, or political elements, or the exchange of different cultures on this kind of architecture? So you can think about it and type the answers in the chat box. Or you can send the pictures of the architecture in the WeChat group.
Okay, Lassie.
So think about it. Some typical architecture or some traditional architecture.
好像中国没有了，老师。
Not okay. I mean, from your country. Not the architecture from China, but the architecture from your country. Okay, Hassan shared 3个 sort of bonbon. Okay, can you Mongol architecture, Islamic architecture, National Parliament building. Parliament building. Okay, this is the typical one in Bangladesh.
Yeah, Lashi. It's also called Samsud Bhavan in Bangladesh.
So could you like also share a picture in the WeChat group so that we
Yeah,
can have a
sure.
look at the architecture? Emperor's house, European architecture. Ah, so Alex, European architecture. So it's too big. Can you make it specific? Hanoi house. Hassan, could you just share a picture, not the link?
Ma'am, which Hassan?
Ariful.
Ariful,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
Because
sorry, Laushi.
Ariful shared a link. So I
Yeah.
said, please share a picture.
Actually, our parliament is not a traditional building, Ariful.
If
But
it's not
traditional, but it's
really
it's
very
unique, yeah.
traditional. It's unique.
Oh, it's
They're
so beautiful.
traditional,
What's
like
this one?
Yeah, Shubhrata share it.
British colonial
Laushi,
architecture.
Shubhrata share it.
Okay. So Shubrata shared one. Parliament. Is this the parliament?
Yeah, Laushi, this is the
Good.
parliament.
But I think this is not the traditional architecture, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I was told. It is not traditional. We've got a couple of traditional building like Pala Buddhist architecture, Indo-Islamic, Mughal architecture.
Oxford missionary.
These are the actually the the traditional architecture in Bangladesh.
What's the second one?
Once Bangladesh was British colony, so that there are British buildings here.
Yeah, they ruled us like 200 years, and they built plenty of.
And it was the kingdom also.
Architecture.
I think the Jonas shared a typical architecture. I think this architecture is influenced by the religions, right? Because I think it's a kind of Islamic architecture.
Yes, Lavshi, it's a university. Its name is Al Qarawin.
It's a university. Wow, it's beautiful.
Yes.
And Fahar shared another one. Oh, Amin shared another one. Wow. Well, Amin, this is very special. Is this traditional architecture in your country?
Yes, it's a mix of wood and mud.
Bamboo and woods.
Yes.
Oh, I like the one Grace shared.
Yeah,
We also have one of them like.
Oh, this is called a Honei house.
Yeah, it's traditional house of Papuans.
Okay. So we can see this kind of we can have a look at Grace, the picture Grace shared. This is a kind of traditional. What I meant traditional, right? Traditional house, and the roof is like a semi ball.
Mushroom.
Yeah.
Like a mushroom. Okay. I think in Indonesia there is also a lot of rain, so this kind of roof can help the rain to protect the roof from the rain, and they use a lot of woods to build the walls. So the picture Grace shared, this kind of house is traditional. We can find the connection between the architecture and the nature and the geography. So Rashid, you shared, is this architecture? Is this where people live?
It's an old Buddhist temple.
It's a old. One of the most earliest urban archaeological sites for Bangladesh.
Oh, so this is a temple. Really?
Yeah.
Golden
Wow.
I think it's covered in gold.
It was an important city under the Mayura Empire. This area was used until 8th century.
Okay, I see. And then Sarkodie shared a beautiful picture. Sarkodie, so is this a traditional architecture in your country?
This is the Cape Coast Castle, and this was the trading port.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get it because the internet is not very stable. Okay.
Lashi, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said this was the Cape Coast Castle.
Oh, it's a castle.
Yes, and it was
a castle.
served as a trading port between the Europeans and yes, it's a castle.
Okay, I see. It's a castle, and
Yes,
it's actually it's a kind of
castle
European
between.
architecture.
Yeah, it was served as a trading port between the Europeans and the Ghanaians.
Okay, I see. I see. Okay, Kondwani shared a picture. I think this is the traditional architecture in Zambia.
Yes, it is.
Lashi, everyone
This is
should send the architecture picture. I'm from Bangladesh, and all of my friends send already your architecture picture.
Okay,
Everyone should everyone to send.
No. I just have a look at the pictures, and
Okay.
I want to share with you, show you how to about our homework today. Okay, so now I'm going to. Okay. So the homework today. So today we learn about the China's geographic environment and an architecture, right? So we learn different types of architectures: the 吊脚楼, the piling house, the Shigumen, the 四合院, and the 窑洞. And we okay. And we learned about the impact of the topography, natural resources, and the climate on the different architectures. And we also learned about the political elements and the exchange of different cultures also has the impact and architectures. So today your homework is to share a traditional architecture from your country. Okay, it can be traditional architecture. If you cannot find any traditional architecture in your country, of course you can share like typical or famous architecture from your country, but you have to tell us about the impact of the natural resources and the climate on the traditional architecture. For example, why the roof is built like this shape, and why they use this kind of wood to build this kind of architecture, and why there is no windows, and why there is only one door, or why there are four walls. Okay, so to explain the connection between the shape of the architecture and the natural resources. Okay, understand?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, good. Okay.
We have to submit our homework on Superstar. Am I right, Lashi?
Yes. Okay. And let me explain. Oh, okay. And then we don't need. I don't need a PowerPoint. No PowerPoint. Okay. No PPT. I need an essay. Proper essay. Okay. Article. You have to type the article, and with minimum 300 words. Okay. So for the font and the margin and the space, I'm going to share later on the Superstar app. But please make it into an essay, not PowerPoint. Okay. But of course, in the essay, you can put some pictures so that we know it clearly. So how the architecture is. And the time, the deadline is Saturday, 8 p.m. Beijing time.
I have a question, Laoshi.
After well,
We have to
for a while. Okay, after I explain,
Okay.
okay, ask questions. Okay, so of course this time you can also choose it to do it individually, in pair or in groups of. Pay attention. Pay attention. Maximum 4 people. Okay, so this time I will not accept any homework with groups of more than 4 people. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Laoshi.
from the
What
same
is the rule?
class, okay, from the same class, do not form groups from other class, okay?
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
from the AI majors and only from the textile majors,
Textile.
not from the international trade majors, okay? Because
Okay.
another group, there is another teacher, and the teacher will check the homework by herself, and I will check the homework by myself. So it's very easy for us
Laoshi,
to tell.
if we use the previous group, like when we
No, no,
made the
I'm going to
song,
shuffle it and I will change it. And
Okay, so you can work it together. Okay, so maybe if you want to work in groups, you can share your ideas together, and one student can write it, make it into an essay, and some student can be in charge of the like check the resources or to search the pictures on the online or something. Okay, you can decide what tasks you do. Okay, and
okay.
if you do the work in pair or in groups, of course you can submit only one paper, but okay, everyone has to submit. Okay,
okay, got
because
it.
I need the record on the Superstar app so that I can give you the scores. Okay, so for example, last time Omar and Sarkodi or Shubrata, you did a group work, right? But you didn't all of you on Superstar app. Make the list, okay? Make the list of students in the groups so that I know who are from the same group, so that I can give you the same score, okay? And after I checked all the homework, and I will pick one lucky group, and you will win a chance to present in front of the class. Okay, so please submit the homework before the deadline. Okay, before the deadline. After the deadline, I will accept your homework, of course, but the score will be reduced. Okay, for example, you can only get 80% of the score, or 70% of the score, or 60% of the score. Okay, so before the deadline. Okay, and for the lucky group, okay, for the lucky group, if I pick you to present in front of the class next time, and you need to prepare PowerPoint. Okay, only the lucky group. Okay, but I'm going to tell you which one. Okay, so that's all for the homework. Now, do you have any questions?
Okay, I have
Laoshi.
question. Must we write on Superstar app on 300 words on one architecture or more than one architecture?
One, only one.
Only one architecture. If I done by myself, so it is okay, or we have to do it by group?
What do you mean?
You can choose to do it individually.
If I done it by
Articulate
individually, is it okay? I said like that.
it.
Yeah, you can do it individually.
Okay.
You don't have to do it in groups. You see, you can do it individually or in pair or in groups. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
And okay, so another thing is that make sure you write the on Microsoft Office and then upload the file. Okay, upload the file on the Superstar app. It can be Microsoft Office or PDF. Okay, it can be both. Only both. Okay, PDF or Microsoft Office. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we need to leave?
Sorry, Alex.
Alexei.
Do we need references from the websites or Or
of course.
okay.
If you like can use the other people's words, you have to quote. Okay.
It's not gonna be like a quote. I'm not gonna be quoting anyone, but I'm gonna be using resources, sources. So I need to leave references.
Yes.
Like for example,
Yes, you need to
there's a
write the.
website. I took that from that website.
Yes,
Or
of
something,
course.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
needed for academic essay. Okay. Any other questions?
Laoshi, I can choose only one architecture from my country because there are many
Of course,
architecture.
only one. Choose one.
Only
If you choose 2 or 3, 300 words is not enough.
yeah.
Yeah, only one. Okay.
And
So
we have,
But
one.
you say minimum 300, but not maximum.
Okay,
That's
understand.
why.
If you want to choose more than one, I'm okay with it.
Okay,
Okay.
Laoshi, okay.
Okay.
and we have to
Yeah,
define.
but with the file, PDF file or a Microsoft Office.
Okay. Share Laoshi.
I don't want to copy the words and then paste on my Microsoft Office. Okay, I just to download and save it. So for the format of the essay, I'm going to share it on the app. For example, the font space, the margin, I'm going to share it on Superstar app. Okay, please follow
Okay,
the
Laoshi.
format. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no questions.
No.
Okay, no questions about the assignment, right? Good. And I have to say that submit before the deadline. Okay. Okay.
What is the link?
Hurry all the time in the WeChat group. Okay. I don't want to mention any people in the WeChat group. Okay. So just follow the deadline and submit. Okay. So now let's go back to the summary of this. So today we learned about an architecture and the geographic environment in China. So first of all, we found on the map, we found where China is and how far is it is from your country to China. So I think the farthest is Morocco, right? Morocco, you need to take 30 hours from Morocco to Shanghai, and then we learn about uh, the the main geographic environment in China, and we learn about there are plains, there are plateaus, and there are deserts, and there are mountains in China. So different types of landforms. And we learned about important influence from geography on human civilization. So we learned that around China, there are mountains, deserts, plateaus, and ocean. It's very difficult for Chinese people and the people from other countries to exchange. That's why the Chinese culture is so isolated and it's so different from the countries from the other parts of the world. And then we learn about the 2 major rivers, and we learn about the importance of the rivers on cultures. So you also share the important rivers from your country, and that the country, the rivers are not only beneficial for us to of the architecture, but also help produce electricity. So that then we learn about the different Chinese architectures. Okay, so actually there are more than 4 traditional architectures in China, but we only picked 4, which are Yaodong, Diaojiaolou, and Siheyuan, and Shikumen. We learned about the impact of topography and the natural resources and the climate on traditional Chinese architecture. Actually, today we didn't mention about the development of modern Chinese architecture, but if you are in Shanghai or if you have been in China, you can know that. So Chinese architecture is more and more modern. And of course, Chinese people are trying to protect the traditional and the old Chinese architectures and try to combine the traditional elements and the modern elements. So that's all about today, and hope you submit your homework on time. Okay, see you next week.
Yeah,
Bye
like
bye.
bye bye.
Just